Next, we're going to take a look at x-intercepts and y-intercepts. We already know what a y-intercept is. That's the point where the line crosses the y-axis. An x-intercept is simply the point where the line crosses the x-axis. In this situation, the y-intercept is 3, and the x-intercept, the point where the line crosses the x-axis, is 2. When using a graph, the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. Right there. So in our situation here, the y-intercept is 4. Possible y-intercepts are always along the y-axis. And you'll notice every y-intercept has an x variable value of 0. To find the y-intercept, the key is we let x equal 0 in the given equation, and then we solve for y. Then whatever value we find for y, that 0y is the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept for the equation 3x plus 4y equals negative 12? To solve this, we have to take the original equation, and then we're going to let x equal 0. When we do that, 3 times 0 is 0, so it vanishes, and we're left with 0 plus 4y is equal to negative 12. We then have to solve for y. So we divide both sides by 4, and we get to y equals negative 3. Therefore, the y-intercept for the equation 3x plus 4y equals negative 12 is 0, negative 3. We plot that point right there. That's 0, negative 3. We know it's a possible y-intercept because it lies along the y-axis and its x value is 0. When using a graph, the x-intercept is where the graph crosses the x-axis, right there. In this situation, the x-intercept is 6. Possible x-intercepts are all along the x-axis, like 3, 0, negative 6, 0, 1, 0, or negative 2, 0. The x-intercept is when the x value when y equals 0. All of the y's for all of these possible x-intercepts are 0. To find the x-intercept, we let y equal 0 in the given equation, and then solve for x. Then whatever we find for x is the first point in the coordinate, and 0 is the second point. So x0 makes up the x-intercept point. This is a very similar process to finding y-intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept for the same equation we were considering earlier. 3x plus 4y is equal to negative 12. Our first step is to write out the equation. Then we're going to let y equal 0. This will help us find our x-intercept. So we'll have 3x plus 4 times 0 is equal to negative 12, which will be 3x plus 0 is equal to negative 12, which is just 3x is equal to negative 12. To solve for x, we divide by 3. When we carry out the division, we find that x is equal to negative 4. Therefore, we know the x-intercept for the equation 3x plus 4y equals negative 12 is negative 4, 0. Or, right there. Once we've found both our x and y-intercepts, we should be able to graph. We know the y-intercept for the equation is 0, negative 3. We know the x-intercept for the equation is negative 4, 0. We have now 2 points on a line. To graph the line, we draw a straight line through the intercepts. And we should always label our line. We're finished. We've got 3x plus 4y is equal to negative 12 graphed on our plane. Now, if we wanted to calculate the slope of this graph, we would have to place this in slope y-intercept form. That is, we'd have to solve for y. To do this, we should eliminate the term containing x from the left side, so we can start to isolate y. Since we have a positive 3x, we subtract 3x from both sides. When we simplify, we're left with 4y is equal to negative 3x minus 12. Then we need to divide through by 4 to isolate y. When we simplify, we have y is equal to negative 3/4 x minus 3. Now, why did we put this in y equals mx plus b form? Well, this will help us find our slope. The slope of the line is negative 3/4, and the y-intercept is 3. But we already knew the y-intercept was 3 because that's what we used to graph our line. So we now have the equation of a line in two different forms. 3x plus 4y equals negative 12 is the identical line to y equals negative 3/4x minus 3. They're just in different forms. Graph the line 2x plus 3y equals 6 using the intercept method. When you're ready, come back and check your solution.